I asked AI every embarrassing investing question I was too afraid to Google, and somewhere between what even is a stock and my fourth conversation about index funds, it told me something that professional Wall Street managers probably wish you'd never find out. Before I get into it, let me be really clear about something. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is purely my personal experience learning about a subject, and anything you do with your own money is entirely your own decision. Okay, now that that is out of the way, let me take you back to day one. Day one, I opened up an AI chatbot and typed something embarrassingly basic. I asked it to explain investing to me like I was 12 years old. And honestly, that was the best decision I made in this entire experiment. Because instead of getting a textbook definition or a Wikipedia article, I got this back and forth conversation where I could ask follow-up questions in real time. Things like, wait, what is a dividend exactly? Or, hold on, what is the difference between a stock and a bond? No judgment, no eye rolls, just patient, clear explanations every single time. By the end of day one, I understood concepts that I had been too embarrassed to Google for years. Things like the basic difference between equity and debt investing, what market capitalization actually means, and why people say diversification matters. I had tried reading investing books before and always gave up by chapter 3. This felt completely different. Week 1 was all about building the foundation. I would spend about an hour each evening asking the AI questions, and I started to notice something interesting. The AI was excellent at explaining concepts, but it was also really good at helping me figure out what questions I did not even know I needed to ask. I would say something like, okay, I understand index funds now. What should I learn next? And it would map out a logical progression for me. Things like expense ratios, dollar cost averaging, tax-advantaged accounts. It was like having a curriculum built specifically around my starting point. Around day 4 or 5, I hit my first wall. I started asking about individual stock picking, and I realized this is where things get genuinely complicated. The AI explained concepts like price-to-earnings ratios, earnings per share, and free cash flow. But it also did something I did not expect. It was surprisingly honest about complexity and uncertainty. It kept reminding me that even professional fund managers, the people who do this full-time, frequently underperform simple index funds over long periods. That was a humbling piece of information that I had to sit with for a while. Here is something I want to pause on because I think it matters a lot for anyone thinking about doing something similar. AI is genuinely remarkable at explaining established financial concepts. It can break down how bond yields work, explain what inflation does to purchasing power, and walk you through the mechanics of how a Roth IRA differs from a traditional IRA. But it has real limitations too, and being honest about those limitations is important. The AI I was using did not have access to real-time market data. It could not tell me what any specific stock was trading at right now, or whether a particular company was a good buy today. And to its credit, it was pretty upfront about that. Whenever I pushed for specific recommendations, it would redirect me toward frameworks for making my own decisions, rather than just handing me a list of ticker symbols. At first, that frustrated me. By the end of the 30 days, I realized that approach actually made me a more capable learner. Moving into week 2, I started going deeper into specific investing strategies. I asked the AI to walk me through the core philosophy behind value investing, the approach made famous by Benjamin Graham and later Warren Buffett. We spent 2 full sessions just on the concept of intrinsic value, which is essentially the idea that a company has a real underlying worth that may be different from whatever price the stock market is currently assigning it. The concept itself is not complicated, but applying it in practice is enormously difficult, and the AI was careful to draw that distinction repeatedly. I also explored growth investing during this period, which operates on a very different logic. Instead of looking for undervalued companies, growth investors are looking for companies expected to expand rapidly, often willing to pay a premium for that expected future growth. The AI helped me understand the trade-offs between these two philosophies, the tension between paying fair prices for stable businesses versus paying high prices for potentially explosive ones. By day 12, I was starting to feel genuinely confident, maybe too confident, honestly. I remember asking the AI to help me analyze a hypothetical portfolio I had put together, a collection of individual stocks I had picked based on what I had learned so far. The AI walked me through some questions I should be asking about each one. Things like, how much debt does this company carry? How consistent is its revenue growth? What competitive advantages does it have? And as we went through the exercise, I realized my picks were based way more on vibes and brand recognition than on any actual analysis. It was a really useful reality check. That experience pushed me into what became one of the most valuable conversations of the entire month. I asked the AI directly, given everything I have learned so far, why do so many smart people just invest in index funds instead of trying to pick individual stocks? And the answer it gave was fascinating. It explained the concept of market efficiency. The idea that because millions of investors are constantly analyzing and trading stocks, prices tend to already reflect all publicly available information. If that is true, it becomes extremely difficult for any individual investor to consistently find stocks that are mispriced enough to beat the market after accounting for the time, costs, and taxes involved in active trading. Now, there is a whole debate about how efficient markets actually are, and the AI walked me through that too. Some people argue markets are highly efficient. Others argue there are genuine opportunities for skilled investors to outperform. The honest answer is somewhere in the middle, and where you land on that question has huge implications for how you approach investing. Week 3 is where I started connecting the theoretical stuff to actual real-world application. And this is where the experiment got genuinely interesting. I started asking the AI about behavioral finance, which is the field that studies how human psychology affects financial decision-making. This topic completely changed how I thought about everything I had been learning. The AI explained cognitive biases like loss aversion, the well-documented tendency for people to feel the pain of a financial loss about twice as intensely as the pleasure of an equivalent gain. It explained recency bias, which causes investors to assume that whatever the market has been doing recently will continue doing. It explained the sunk cost fallacy, herding behavior, and overconfidence bias. And as we went through each one, I kept recognizing myself. I could think of multiple times in my life where these exact psychological traps had affected completely non-financial decisions I had made. Understanding these biases is one thing. Actually overcoming them in real time when you are watching your portfolio drop by 20% is a completely different challenge. The AI was honest about that too. Knowing that loss aversion exists does not make you immune to it, but having frameworks and rules set up in advance, like automatic contributions that remove the emotional decision-making, can help you stay disciplined when emotions are running hot. Around day 20, I asked about something I had been curious about for a while but kept putting off because it felt too complicated: options trading. I had seen enough YouTube thumbnails promising insane returns from options to know this was a thing people did. I wanted to understand what was actually going on. The AI explained the mechanics clearly. Options contracts give you the right but not the obligation to buy or sell a stock at a specific price before a certain date. A call option lets you bet on a stock going up. A put option lets you profit if it goes down. At a fundamental level, that is not impossible to grasp. But then the AI started getting into pricing models, the role of implied volatility, how time decay erodes option value, and how small movements in the underlying stock can create large percentage swings in option prices. The complexity escalated very quickly. The evidence on this point is actually quite strong. The complexity of more advanced strategies is genuinely hard to justify for the average person in terms of time invested versus results achieved. But understanding the fundamentals still matters because you need to understand why the simple approach works in order to actually stick with it when markets get scary, as they inevitably do. Day 30 arrived and I sat down to take stock, no pun intended, of what I had actually learned. Here is my honest assessment. The AI was an extraordinary learning tool for building conceptual understanding. The ability to ask unlimited follow-up questions at whatever pace worked for me. With zero judgment and infinite patience was genuinely better than any other learning method I had tried for this subject. The questions you are too embarrassed to ask a human advisor are exactly the questions you should be starting with when you talk to an AI. There is genuinely no such thing as a stupid question in that context. Second, do not expect the AI to just hand you answers about what to invest in. Use it to build frameworks for thinking, not to outsource your decisions entirely. Third, expect to encounter complexity. Investing involves real trade-offs and genuine uncertainty. Anyone promising otherwise is selling something. And fourth, maybe most importantly, recognize that 30 days of learning is a starting point, not a finish line. I know vastly more than I did a month ago. I also have a much clearer sense of how much I still do not know, which is its own kind of progress. If you made it this far, genuinely thank you. Drop a comment below telling me where you are in your own investing journey, whether you are a complete beginner like I was a month ago or someone who has been investing for years. I am curious to know what concepts took you the longest to actually understand, because that might shape what I dig into next. If this video was useful, hit subscribe because I am planning to document the next phase of this experiment, and things are about to get considerably more interesting from here.